like for example used tires which are used, the residue from the biomass and from the electricity generation can then be used as a fertilizer. And again, fertilizer which is much better than the fertilizer that is produced as urea or other fertilizer products, the DAP and so on. So hence the importance of this integration of this sector into the economy of Pakistan cannot be underemphasized. Having said that, there are issues. The issues are that the integration with the national grid cannot happen until we have a stable national grid. And until we do have a stable national grid, such small-scale back entry into the national grid of power is not going to be possible all the time because of the load shedding and because of the synchronization problems and so on. So in the meantime, the government should, as a policy change, also allow such manufacturers of electricity to sell electricity to their local area, which at present is not allowed. So with these words, I throw the floor open for people to comment and ask questions to the panel right over there.
You have mentioned that we need a stable grid system to provide extra load on our grid. It's nice, but meanwhile, our distribution system is also not capable of having extra loads. Are you looking for it also?
I'll take the questions together if you don't mind. Any other questions?
We have any other question? Yes, please.
Thank you. Mazuttu from Capital Engineering. You very rightly and kindly pointed out about the equalization of the tariff for the energy produced from the biomass. I would even say that not only be better, but even we can, government can offer even at the premium because it is contributing to the environment. And there's under the Kyoto Protocol, there's some pointing system. I don't know if people are aware of that. If you are producing environment-friendly energy, you get international trading points. So not only equal, but even better tariff can be offered for biomass energy because of the environment friendliness. And secondly, most important is the absence of a proper comprehensive government policy. We have to first create an enabling environment which is supporting research, piloting, production, and then the protocols to put it into the regional or the national grids. So at the currently we don't have such enabling environment. So public sector or a government as a society organizer have first of all has to give a comprehensive policy and create an enabling environment. This nation is very talented, hardworking, and they can deliver, provided we have that specific enabling environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe have one more question, or we just go for that. Any other question we can? 40 years.
So we are already using biomass as fertilizer. So how the fertilizers from these processes will be different from fertilizer which is already being used? So please elaborate.
I'll answer these three questions. The first one is on the distribution system. The distribution system really is not up to it to integrate such small scale entries into the system. And an example of that is NEPRA, well over a year ago, approved a feed-in tariff for households, or a reverse metering initiative. And that reverse metering initiative has not yet produced a single household which has started generating electricity through solar and feeding it back into the system and so on. And the reason for that is very simple. The reason is that the discos, first of all, are not interested in implementing that. And second reason is that in the presence of load shedding, such initiatives are basically bookish. They are not implementable because such systems will only start being productive and be financially viable if the distribution system is capable of taking this small scale generation into and using it. So what I have suggested in this case is for biomass, not only should we have the reverse metering or feed-in tariff for these units, but we should also allow them to sell to their local communities any surplus electricity that they generate, which is at the moment not allowed per se by NAFTA. And so we need to think of solutions which bypass this phase while we get to a stage where electricity load shedding is a thing of the past and the grid is stable, and so these initiatives can also work with that. So until that time, we should allow them other avenues to expand. The second thing that was raised was the enabling environment. The enabling environment can only happen if we open our eyes to the realities, which is by we, I mean the government. And reality is that we all know and we all have been hearing that the sugar mills can generate 2,800 megawatts of electricity from bagasse, which is biomass. Yet, I think maybe one or two sugar mills are generating very small.
We have your view, sir. Please.
If I'm allowed to say something. Sir, the picture may be different some 2 years back, 3 years back, but now we are kept getting 145 megawatt from the sugar mills on high pressure production projects.
145 megawatts.
And expectedly 300 megawatt we're going to get in the next 2 years. We have issued 15 alloys.
Right. I've been hearing that this 2,800 megawatts will be coming on stream in the next 2 years for the last 10 years. Please. I mean,
May I say something, sir? The framework has been announced in 2013, and within 2 years we've been able to get 145 megawatt.
Sir, if I could just add something to the net metering part, and the second question that they asked. For net metering and for smaller systems, I would back what the Honorable Chair has just said. Our grid is not capable of handling smaller, power stations at this time. And the basic issue is with the management and with the policy. The policy for net metering, which was announced almost about 1 year back, if you go through it, it stipulates a process which takes almost about 180 days. If you send an application to a distribution company today, it will take them 180 days according to that policy to give you just permission and license to set up a solar system or your own micro power station and start selling power back. And to just stop on that, there is no set mechanism for the tariff to be, decided or understood. So you're basically leaving the households or smaller system owners at the mercy of a system which is not clear, and hence this problem just arises. Our company has sent four just applications to the Islamabad Electric Supply Corporation, and it's been almost about 1 year that we haven't got an answer. So I can tell you this from my own personal experience that it is extremely difficult to set up micro power stations in Pakistan and start selling electricity back to the grid. Secondly, the second question which was asked by the gentleman for the CDM, you see the cost for getting your license to just get your certificates, your CERs from the UNFCCC would take so much time and cost that it might not be feasible for a smaller system to do that. It would make more sense for a large-scale system to go and apply for those CERs, and the cost of each certificate has actually dropped considerably. Almost about 3-4 years back, it was about 3 to 4 euros per certificate, and today the cost stands at almost about $0.5. So you can just imagine how much the cost has dropped and how much it will take time and effort to actually go through that procedure. It takes about 1 year. You need to get validation. You would start with your bids, then your PDTs, go for your validation. A team from the UNFCCC would have to come and then visit your site to validate that project. And each year you would have to go through that process. So the cost and the time, it is difficult. But yes, you're right, we need to have a tariff which should incentivize biomass production and power through this sector. And maybe the Alternative Energy Board can just shed some light on the policy work that they've done.
Dr. Najib Khan, please.
I just want to discuss one more area that we are discussing the integration of this biomass technology with other technologies. So, as it's very fascinating technology.